Good morning, boys. Welcome to another episode of the Grow Bag series. Now, funny enough, I have recorded clip 1 for this video already, but I think I'm going to scrap it. A, because I rambled a bit, but B, got interrupted by my sweet potatoes starting to burn in the air fryer, so that was absolutely mega. But it is going to be a very good day. It has already been a good day. It is currently 8:58 a.m. outside the park. Me and Milo are about to go for some steps. Been up since 6, keeping the circadian rhythm in check between shifts. It's a day off work, but you know, we don't want to be lying in and then struggling to get to bed tonight when we have a 5 o'clock start tomorrow. So, very good day today. Why? Stranger Things Season 5 has dropped already, 30 minutes into episode 1, with steps before and after meal 1. Sweet potato, prawns, pineapple, by the way. So that's mega. Full body session going down as well today, and it's just going to be a very good day. Rest day meal prep for tomorrow already completed as well. We've accomplished a lot this morning. We are sitting here with a peachy keen monster. Will probably be the last of my caffeine today. Trying to pull that down ever so slightly from the usual 200 milligrams and a coffee per day to just maybe 50 milligrams a coffee, or maybe 200 milligrams through a Rise and Shine and Monster combo. But as of December 1st, I am trying to cut down on the Monster intakes. I've got the Nespresso advent calendar, so I'll want to be boxing off one of them a day, and just won't really have the room for the caffeine of a Monster if I do actually decide to pull my intake down, which is what I want to do. But as for an introduction, I think that's all I really need to mention. Milo is itching to get out here for a walk, and I guess I'll catch up with you guys while I'm in the midst of my steps. Here we are, out for some steps. Completely forgot to actually talk to the camera for the first 20 minutes of the walk. Was too busy ordering an espresso descaling kit, and then I also picked up a set of 2 mugs. I'm a nerd for mugs. I like a nice mug, but I'm going to use this opportunity to talk or give a little update on myself, where we're at in this reversal from the diet. Outside of training, it has been so productive. Food, as of Monday's food increase, I apologise, I forgot the windbreaker for the mic, so hopefully you're picking me up okay. The Osmo is a very good piece of kit, so I'd say we'll be fine. And I do vouch, if you're looking to start any form of content creation, pick up an Osmo, you won't regret it. But yeah, outside of training, this phase has been so productive. Monday's food bump of 200 calories on a training day, 150 on a rest day, has brought me to 3,600 and 3,000 calories training day and rest day respectively. So that's 550 carb training days, 410 carb rest days, and that is literally just over a month post diet. We wrapped up, what date is today? The 27th, I believe it is the 27th, and the diet ended on the 25th of October, so a month and 2 days post diet, and we have over doubled the food, and expenditure is a fraction of what it is. And as of this morning, 175.2 pounds, that is only 0.2 pounds up from the end of the diet. So body is a furnace, bro. I really like saying that. Some people find it cringy, but I think it's a really good saying, and it makes the athlete, to say if you're saying it to a client or something. I know when I was working with Noah and he first coined that phrase to me, I was like, what the fuck, this is going to be really cool. My body's going to be a furnace, because he was just basically saying, you know, you're pretty fuckered here. Once we start putting food in, your body's going to be like a furnace. And you know, I was new to bodybuilding, and I didn't really understand that, and I had quite a lot of imposter syndrome going into a gaining phase from that diet. So the idea of being on more food quite sort of scared me, but he put that in a really good way with the furnace chat. But body is firing for more food. We've got our pre-workout meal going in. When I get home, where I'm going to do cream of rice pre-workout, sourdough and eggs and salmon post-workout. But yeah, you'll notice that I said outside of training. It's been very productive. Now, inside of training, Milo, come on. No. I'll be back in a minute, guys. Milo's dandering off. There we go. Got him back. He seen a dog in the car park and he was looking to be friendly. But as of Tuesday legs, thankfully I got that recorded for the YouTube last rotation and not the one just past. Injured myself, picked up a little lumbar spine niggle while warming up for my stiff leg deadlifts. Now, if you'll remember early days in the YouTube, I was dealing with a lower back niggle. It's the same thing, it's just came back, but it's not as bad as what it was at the start of the diet. So I'm hoping that sort of tapers off towards the end of the week. Maybe we get some productive work in on Saturday, full body. Today, in Thursday's full body session, I'm still going to try and get some productive leg work in. You know, I'll be able to get in and do a leg extension, hopefully a seated ham curl. Maybe not be able to execute to the standard I'd like on the prime hack and the Arsenal leg press, but you know, you get in and you do what you can do. That's the benefit, or at least that's my coping mechanism for this injury. The fact that I train legs 3 times a week, so the fact that I couldn't hip hinge or glute drive on Tuesday, it isn't affecting me too much. But as for the video in general, I want this to be just sort of like a vlog style. I don't want to hone in on the training or food too much and make it a full day of eating or just a training video, but I'll include elements of them both. And when I watch bodybuilding content on YouTube, I like seeing what the person I'm watching is just doing, the generic tasks through the day. So I'll try record some of them through the day. Must say that peachy keen in the car was delectable. It was a 10 out of 10 peachy keen. I'm very much gonna miss these monsters. I don't know if I'll be able to completely cut them out. I'd sooner be able to cut out every off-plan meal in my diet rather than every monster. I'll probably have to cut the frequency down to maybe once or twice a week. I work quite a lot of early shifts in work, so like 5:45 starts, which means I'm not training till like 4 p.m. Jesus, the wind. Calm down, brother. I'm recording a clip for YouTube. Yeah, so I'll stand and I'll face the wind while I finish this clip. Yeah, sometimes I'm not training till like 4 p.m. after getting up that day at 5 a.m. So them days, I do sort of think I can get away with the 200 milligrams caffeine and a coffee. So that they will be my days for the monsters. I'll give in and give into the temptation of a delectable refreshing can of Monster Energy Ultra. Peachy Keen number 1. What will we go? No. Ultra Blue Hawaii number 1. Peachy Keen number 2. And you know, we'll slot in Rosa at number 3, but you can't consistently have a Rosa. If you have a Rosa every single day, it drops down to 6th or 7th in that tier list because the flavour is just quite bland, or not bland but weak. Whereas you could have a Peachy Keen every day or a white every day and not get sick of it. So I'll see you guys at the pre-workout meal. Looking forward to that. A whole 60 grams of daddlers. There we have it. Steps are done and we're into the pre-workout meal. Let's have a look this beauty. We've got 100 grams cream of rice, 100 berries, 100 banana, 60 dates, nutmeg, cinnamon, 5 grams of pink salt. Actually upping my daily salt intake because my blood pressure is sitting pretty low, and you know, it would be rude not to get the whey paste pour on camera. Peak food focus. Oh, it's not in frame. There we go. That is enough food porn. I'll lick the rest of that mug. But yeah, full body going down in a matter of an hour or so. 45 minutes drive to the gym, maybe closer to an hour and a half. 45 minutes to the gym. Some steps after this meal, help it digest. Make the pre and intra concoctions and get to the gym. Hopefully we'll be seeing Matt Butcher Natural Physique at the gym as well. He is in for pull, I believe. So maybe some working in shall be done. Fuck your pre-workout training video. Me and the boys are watching Stranger Things new season, and we're getting jacked in our sessions. You don't need to watch a leg day before a leg day. Trust me, you can still train hard by watching TV before the gym. So, pre-workout meal has been inhaled. Sits so well, cream of rice at the minute. I actually think it's overtaken oats, so that's down. Steps done. Post meal, help that digest. These are episode 1, season 5, Stranger Things, finished, and now it is time for pre-workout part 2 of 3. So you have the pre-meal, L-carnitine, and then the pre-workout drink, which is just Turbo Pump and Hydromax. So I actually will record my L-carnitine pin on camera. I believe you're allowed to do this, so I might as well show the process. This is the sort of thing I'd like to watch on YouTube. I just realised the mic is on my jacket and the jacket is sitting on the bed, so I might be a bit mumbly, or my voice might be a bit blocked. I'll change that now. So here we have a ml of L-carnitine, or 500 milligrams. You never want to measure stuff in mils, your injectables in mils. Always do the milligrams. So just simply extracted that out of the vial into the needle. Doing a side delt pin today. I really only inject side delts, quads and rear delts. So today is a side delt day, just as a form of site rotation, so you're not building up any scar tissue, which is very unlikely with just one L-carnitine pin a day. But you know, you might as well do your part in minimizing that risk. So simply just pushing that in slowly, and boom. I normally let it like hang after you've injected all the solution. I let it sit in there for a little while, pull it out. A little bit of blood might come out, but that is no biggies. When you start your L-carnitine, the pin, the pip might be very bad, but I promise you it gets easier. You don't get hit as hard when you're 2-3 vials into using it. This is my 3rd vial, just coming up to halfway using it, so definitely very beneficial to have in, whether it aligns with you morally, being a natural bodybuilder and injecting yourself. That's up to you to make that choice, but I know for me it sits well on my conscience, and I've seen great results using it. So it is time for full body. This is as real, as authentic as it gets. Said to myself, or said in a clip earlier out for steps, I wanted to get more of the the generic things that these bodybuilders on YouTube do, because that's what I like to see. And I think this is what I'd like to see, because this is no BS. WhatsApp's cleared since training. Had a very good session, but since WhatsApp is clear, no immediate jobs posted on Instagram. I have just been beached watching the new Stranger Things season. We're in the midst of episode 3 already, and it's pretty solid so far. It'll obviously get towards peak at the end of the season, which comes out around New Year's time. But this is a pretty good intro. The first 4 episodes, might get them all wrapped up today, which is pretty mad to say. But yeah, sat and had my post-workout, which was sourdough and eggs. Delicious. And salmon. 18 grams of fat in my post-workout meal. Guys, do not be running your post-workouts with 0 fat. There is absolutely no rationale to that. Yes, you're in a more sensitive spot. Your GLUT4 receptors, there's something to do with that. I'll not act like I know the ins and outs of that, but they are in a better spot to uptake carbohydrates. But having a little bit of fat in your post-workout meal is not going to completely eliminate your uptake of carbs, and if anything, it's going to be beneficial for upholding insulin sensitivity and stuff like that. I think the issue actually more so lies with that, the fact that people use that as an excuse to ram their post-workout meal with processed foods and these highly refined sugars. I could totally see someone doing chicken and potato, or just chicken and rice and no direct fat source. That's fine. But when the post-workout meal turns into Cocoa Pops, whey and jam, that is just not productive towards your goals. All of your other meals are well balanced, fruit and veg in them, protein source, carb source, fat source. But then you get post-workout and you think it's all right to nail 300 grams of carbs worth of kids cereal. It's just doesn't make sense. Then also meal 4 went down. We had sweet potato, chicken, a little bit of avocado oil. It's 7 mils in my meal plan, split across 2 sweet potato meals, so maybe 3-4 grams of oil, veg, and sauerkraut. That was the entire meal. And I will record meal 5 for you guys, because that's oats. That's exciting. We've got the dark cookie crumb ESN flavor powder going into the oats tonight. Maybe a bit of sticky toffee pudding whey paste from Perform, absolutely goated flavour. Maybe some caramel biscuit whey paste as well, because I've only got a little bit of sticky toffee pudding left over, just from what Butcher had given me. But yeah, that is going to wrap it for this clip, because I'm going to get back to my Stranger Things. I just wanted to be completely transparent and show you the real way of recovering. It's the R&R, feed up protocol. Did have a very good session though. Managed to get sets on the prime hack and Arsenal leg press. Can't bend over to get my logbook without supporting myself with my other hand, but I'm able to take a set on a hack squat and a leg press to total failure. Make it make sense, I don't know. That's the joys of just having these 2 pieces that feel like absolute butter, I guess. And yeah, gonna leave this here because I keep on rambling. See you guys when it comes to the oats, and I will be going over some training footage from today's full body session. Here we are, the training segment of the YouTube video. Did decide to stick this in the middle of the video rather than the end, so it actually makes sense me saying thank you for watching in the clip with the oats. But not a lot of training footage to go over, simply because I wanted to get my top sets for Instagram, and not a lot of movements have back off sets in this full body session. This Thursday full body means I have 2 sleeps until my next full body session on a Saturday. So volume relative to frequency. I can't be pushing volume when I'm training something again, or every muscle group in this case, in 2 sleeps. But overall, a very good session for myself yesterday. Productive one, to say the least, since I was going in with such a niggle in my lower back, getting away with a leg press set, a prime hack squat set, and just a full upper body session with pretty maximal performance. It honestly made my day. You seen the prime ham curl, did have to drop like 20 pounds on that because of how heavy it is in the lengthened range. It was just putting a bit of strain on my lower back, and I couldn't be as powerful as I normally am on a typical set. So we reduced loading there so we could keep the loading. We reduced the load used so we could keep the loading, cam 3 all lengthened. That's what was causing the issue with my lower back on that movement. Since it is so heavy in that stretch, and that's where my lower back was getting strained. Just didn't have the power or the output capacity for that movement. But we're straight into upper body work. That prime ham curl is the only movement with 2 sets in leg work for this Thursday full body session. Leg press, prime hack, leg extension, calf raise, all at 1 set a pop. But back off on the preacher curl, you can see me loading this up. Now I load this majority top peg. My top set is 10 top peg, 3.75 on the mid peg. This is a very humbling movement. A single arm preacher, but do it on the prime preacher curl. Humbling, to say the least. And then my back off is 10 on the top and 2.5 on the mid. Now, of course, you've probably heard it before, but the ability to get a muscle fully short diminishes when you fatigue it. So it makes sense for your back off set. You've done 1 set already. You would start to lighten the load that's entering into that shortened range. So in this scenario, we've got no load on that bottom peg. You don't really want to be loading the shortened range. So the closest thing to the shortened range is the mid range, the mid peg, and that's why we start to take load off of that as we do subsequent sets. It's a big word. Moving on to the prime lateral. This would have been my back off set, so cam 5. We have that loaded mid to lengthened range. Now I feel like that feels so much better than cam 3 on the prime lateral. I'm somebody that absolutely rips the ass out of my lengthened loading in prime kit. Cam 3 on basically every pin loaded machine, because that's where it feels best. But on this, cam 3 doesn't feel good. It feels like you're just fighting through load, getting no tension through your side delts. So that's why I keep a little bit of a shortened range challenge compared to what you'd normally see from myself on like an upper back row or a chest press or something of the sort. Moving on, prime row, we completely miss out on pressing work. Sorry YouTube, but only 1 set a pop, and then made it to the Instagram. So the Atlantis flat press, has this just froze? There we go. What has happened there? I don't know. But we are firing away with the prime row. So top peg, we have 91.75 kilo, I believe I took. Now I was actually down a rep on both of my prime row sets, top set and back off, but we did progress 0.5 kilo, so it's a bit of a bitter taste in my mouth. What is that saying? It is bitter. It's not sour, is it? Maybe it's sour taste in my mouth, but we ideally don't want to be dropping reps. So this is sort of making me aware that maybe I'm pushing volume too high in my upper session on Monday with 3 sets of upper back rows. I'm not peak body weight, I have to be careful with my volume, but I will keep a close eye on how that set progresses, because I shouldn't be dropping reps with only 0.5 kg being added. So something to keep an eye on. Potentially need to drop volume to continually progress my logbook, because ultimately you only want to do what you can recover from, if and you use your logbook progressions as the most important metric to assess your recoverable volume, assess your recovery. If you're not being able to go into the gym and take reps load extra on last week every single week, there is probably an issue there, depending on the phase you're in. Obviously, if you're dieting, you probably don't have the potential to do that, but gaining phase, eating a lot of food, probably approaching peak body weight, you would be expecting progressions every single session, and that's what happened myself. So that's sort of what I base it off. I do have standards. You can see me checking the logbook for the prime pull down, the seat settings. There's about 3 or 4 settings that you can adjust on this. There's the knee pad, the chest pad, the seat height, and there's one more. You can adjust the angle of the chest pad and the distance of the chest pad. That's what it is. So it's a whole fucking bollock to log and keep your lift standardized. But it's important. We want to make sure we have the same setup week in, week out. So I have this just over a 2-to-1 ratio, top pin to mid pin, and this feels great. Could maybe lighten the mid pin a little bit, but honestly, the connection I get with my lats just through challenging that shortened range a little bit more I'm finding that really enjoyable. So that's why I don't want to change up this on the setup on the prime pull down while it's going well. So that will wrap up the training side of things, and I will see you for my final meal. Alright, chaps, last clip of the YouTube video, and I will be rushing this one because I am excited for this bowl. It is just after 8 o'clock, so bedtime is past. No 9-hour sleep opportunity for me, but we got to get these meals in, these full body sessions. I find all the time I'm running behind schedule with meals because of simply how long they take. But without further ado, the nightly bowl of oats is upon us. We have 60 grams of dates, 100 grams of banana, 100 grams of berries, 40 grams of whey, a mix of sticky toffee pudding and caramel biscuit whey paste. It is 70 grams of oats with 3 grams of pink salt and 4 grams ESM flavour powder, dark cookie crumb, and this just looks insane. I made my whey paste a bit watery, but it will still go down a treat. I'm not sure if I'll have the training footage assessed before or after this clip, but if this is the last one, thank you for watching. I'll not fully outro because I think I'll leave the training till the end for you guys, but it has been a very good day. Wrapping up with more Stranger Things coming up. Finished episode 3 in the meantime. Got an Instagram reel uploaded, and realistically it has been a productive day, and we go again tomorrow to make more progress. 5 a.m. start, and yeah, looking forward to it, boys. So thank you for watching.